What is up, family and friends, and welcome back to the channel. On tonight's episode, we are going to get some more fab work done on the buggy project. Now, I have made some pretty good headway, I think, and I'll share that with you guys in a minute, and I'll give you a quick little rundown of what I've been doing, as well as, of course, tonight's fab project that I'm going to be working on. But it is nice to be back. It is nice to share some of this with you guys. Let me show y'all what I have been doing, and we're gonna dive right into fabric this evening. Let's do it. Now, if you guys saw my last video that I posted, you guys saw the new fab axles that I got, and I did that whole reveal, talked a little bit about it, and all that fun stuff. So, of course, I kind of put everything on hold because I got very excited, and I really wanted to dive into some suspension stuff. Now, that is not what tonight's video was about, but I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. I'm gonna show you some suspension-y bits that I have been working on. That will be in a totally separate video. If you wanna see that, hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss out for when that video does come out. But let me show you guys what I've been cooking up. So, I spent some time and got my rear 4-link fully mocked up. Now, once again, not going to go into detail on all this. I will save that for another video because I'm cooking up the front. And what I will do is once I finish up the front, I will spend some time and I will run down, you know, rear, front, maybe some geometry aspects of it. But what I will say is that after cycling the suspension, flexing it out, she be on the money. Now, everything is just tacked in. Nothing is fully welded in. Obviously, I want to make sure that at full lock, I'm not going to be rubbing on the links. But, you know, minus that, everything is dialed in to where she will be. And the beauty of it is, and I'll go into more detail down the line, there's going to be a sick amount of up and down travel in this thing for this style buggy. So I'm really pumped. But anyway, moving past the suspension, as exciting as it is, I am going to be working up something kind of cool this evening. So everybody out there who's kind of been in the sport has heard, seen, used, owns an Atlas transfer case. And mounting an Atlas transfer case is pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? There's nothing crazy to it. Most of the time, everybody does, you know, a typical bottom mount, and hopefully you're kind of starting to guess, and I'm sure the title of the video obviously is giving it away. But keeping the theme that I have going on with this build, you know, I have head mounts, you know, on the back of the LS. I have a top-mounted Turbo 400 trans, so that means top-mounted Atlas. It obviously took a little bit of finagling, and when I say a little bit, you know, very little bit. I kind of took the same concept and idea from when I top-mounted my Turbo 400. If you guys saw that video, you guys will remember that off one of the cross members, I basically did them out, and I came up with an idea and a concept that I thought would work very well for the Atlas. Now, the beauty of it is I've already done all the prep work and, you know, kind of got some of the cutting and figuring out done in preparation for this to save some time. So what I'm going to do now is I got to get the seat out. I will lay everything out so you guys can see what it looks like. Then we're going to get stuff tacked. We'll get some welding going on, and we will have a fully mounted driveline with a top-mounted Atlas, which I think is pretty cool. From, you know, the head mounts to the top-mounted trans and the Atlas is just going to be floating in the middle of the chassis. You know, nothing underneath. If I take a hard hit underneath, you know, it's not like that jarring shock is going to be pushing up on that mount. It's just going to be floating. Fairly simple concept here. And I also have to think about how am I going to make this removable. So I ended up using, similar to the TMR disconnects that I use on the cross member here and here, they have a little stubby version, because on the odd chance that I ever want to just take the Atlas out, I also didn't want to have to undo the transmission cross member here, because if I just welded this as one tube, then in order to take this mount off from the Atlas, I would also need to disconnect the transmission one to pull the whole thing out. But by putting a little disconnect and making sure it's oriented properly, what I can then do is just yank out this little section here. This will all stay intact and the Atlas can finagle around. You would use the same, type of adapter bracket that you would use for a sort of bottom mount. As you can see here, I have a TMR version. All I have done with this one is flipped it around. So it is oriented in a upside down position. So instead of the bolts being on the top, bolts are on the bottom there. I'm gonna have cross tube, so I have support here, weld washers in place for the time being, but this will be bushing mounted as well, similar to what I did for the Turbo 400. And then what I'm gonna do to actually support and mate this bad boy is a small little piece of tube. And basically what'll happen if I can do this one-handed while filming is this. The shoe will mate right in here. So that'll get welded to the plate. That'll get welded to the tube cross member. It'll sort of support and take some of the weight and abuse off of the back of the Atlas, which is heavy as heck. And then, boys and girls and boys, I'll have a top-mounted Atlas transfer case, which will be really, really dope. So, pieces are cut. Time to get my welder setup dialed in. We're gonna get tacking. We'll step back, make sure it looks good, and then we're gonna burn her in. Let's get going. So just finished my first root pass on the bench and put everything back in to test fit it. Boop. So that's pretty awesome, man. So everything connects, you know, right in beautifully. Top mount. Atlas transfer case. Eventually I'll do a little cap here. Still got to weld out the inside of that with my root. I'll do one more pass on everything, but yeah, man, I mean, for tonight and for this project, she is dope. And I got my shifters in as well. They were in there before. I just didn't actually talk about it. But I mean, the nice thing about these things is everything is pretty flat and flush. And I'll show you in a second. I'll throw the seat in there. But I can throw these things in low, which should be fully forward, and high, which should be fully back. Fully comfortable sitting in the seat, no cable shifters, and still have room for a dash, which I need to get in here as well without these coming in contact with that. So here, let me throw a seat in there real quick and I'll show y'all. All right, so seats in, shifters are in neutral. I am all the way back in the seat, pressed up against it. Pretty much can't go any further back, and from this position that I am in right now, it's pretty straightforward. I can pull it back into high, boop, boop. I can put it all the way forward into low, and I could do that pretty much, you know, just like very easy. Couple fingers, don't even need to really lean. Pretty awesome. In that vehicle, I do have to kind of lean a little bit, especially to get it all the way into low gear. High's not a problem because it's obviously coming back towards me. Wanted to rectify that in this one. I just wanted to be able to sit comfy, be able to, you know, throw it in whatever gear I wanted it to, high, low, and not have to finagle in the seat. So super stoked having these. These little plastic doohickeys are not going to be permanent. They are just on here for now. I will find something a little bit more bougie to replace those, but super happy about this. Plus gives me an area to mount some tabs for the harnesses on the seats, driver and passenger, as well as kind of work off of a little console area for some tab mounts and things like that. So all in all, really stoked, happy to continue the forward progression, and this bad girl that much closer to being completed. Still a long way to go. Anyway, for those of you who stuck around this far, thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Definitely be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you guys like what you saw. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. Definitely be sure to subscribe, especially if you want to see some suspension stuff, because that is going to be on the docket next. And as always, thanks for stopping by. God bless everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.